Happy Sunday, you guys. What's up? Welcome to Operation Faith. I hope you're having a blessed Sunday, and I hope you had a good week so far. Today's message is called You Are the Girl or the Guy for the Job, and this message is so important to me because I am currently struggling and dealing with this as well, and God is working on me. So I pray that this message will motivate you, inspire you, and strengthen your faith as well as it is for me. So we're coming from Matthew chapter 3 today, and we're talking about John the Baptist. And John the Baptist, his job was baptizing people. And so John was going about his job. He was baptizing these people, and all of a sudden, Jesus came up to John and said, "You're going to baptize me." And so just imagine how John felt initially when Jesus told him, "You're the one for the job." He was probably like us, letting all of these things flood into his head. And he was like, "Are you talking to me? Like, are you sure? Like, I think you got me mistaken. Like, I may not be the person you're thinking of." But John didn't think he was equipped or qualified to do the job that Jesus was calling him to do. And John didn't want any parts. He was like, not me. Like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm not about to do this because there's extra pressure to mess it up. Like, I might pass on this. But Jesus noticed that he was struggling with the decision to do the job that Jesus called him to do. And so Jesus was like, I don't care what you think. Like, you're the person for the job. You are specifically chosen as the person to carry out this kingdom assignment. And so in your life, there's going to be tons of jobs, opportunities like that our flesh is going to lead us to believe that we are unqualified for. The enemy is going to flood your mind with doubt, fear, insecurity, and all those things, because what makes the enemy the maddest is when we're walking in obedience, when we're walking in calling, when we're walking in purpose, when we're obeying the Lord's commands and what the Lord is telling us to do. That's what really makes the enemy mad. So he's going to try to flood your mind and get you distracted and take you farther away from what God has called you to do. And he's going to try to get you to not walk in purpose. So he's going to try and do whatever he can to stop you from doing what God calls you to do. However, when stuff like this happens, we're going to come back to another verse in God's word, that 2 Timothy 3:17, and it said, God qualifies and equips who he calls for the assignment. So God is going to equip and qualify anybody he calls to the assignment. Just like John the Baptist, John didn't think he was qualified, but God's word says, I'm going to qualify you for this thing that I'm calling you to do. So no matter what we feel or how we feel or what the situation looks like, we have to receive and believe that he's going to qualify and equip us to everything he calls us to do. Jesus told him, if I say it's you, then it's you. Like, you are the one for the job. God has placed a special purpose and a special calling on each of his children's lives. And even though our degrees, our certifications, or like just qualifications may not line up with this thing that God is calling us to do, his word right there in 2 Timothy says, I'm going to give you everything you need. God is going to give you the wisdom, the knowledge, the strength, the peace, the joy, and whatever position he's calling you to, because you're supposed to be there. So he's going to prepare you and qualify you before he leads you into that position, because everything that his hand is in is going to prosper. That's also what his word says. And I don't know the verse on that, but if his hand is in what you're doing, he's going to make you prosper in it. So and in order to make you prosper in it, he has to equip and qualify you. So we can rejoice in his word that no matter what it looks like, no matter how we feel, no matter how our flesh is leading us to believe, God qualifies and equips who he calls. Like, if God tells you the person for the job, you have to be the person for the job, because you're the only person that God can use to get that specific job or assignment done. So that's what Jesus told John. Jesus said, it's you. Like, you're the person I'm calling to do this. So even though the flesh was coming in and John was about to back out, John decided to be obedient, to give God his yes, and baptize Jesus in I believe it's the Jordan River. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But when John gave God his yes, the gates of heaven were open and God rejoiced. God praised that John gave him his yes. God will reward obedience, And so whenever you're obedient to God, just know that God sees you and God's going to reward you if you give him your yes. So long story short, don't let comparison, fear, doubt, insecurity get in the way of what God has called you to do. Because if God has called you for a job and a position and an opportunity, he is going to equip you, prepare you, and qualify you for the job that he calls you to. So you are the girl or the man for the job. God got you, and you got this. I'm rooting for you. Happy Sunday.